today, not really today. I'm going to start that again. Yesterday was a fateful day because, as of recording, yesterday was the first ever DC Fandome. What this was, it was basically Comic-Con for DC alone. They talked about comics, TVs, video games, movies, and a few other things. Talked about, the representation in their different, releases on different screens, and what's coming up, and what the past has looked like. And they celebrated Jim Lee a lot, which, I mean, the guy deserves it. He's a genius. I think it was an interesting experience.
For sure.
So it started for us at 11 a.m. I think it started at like 10 Pacific Standard Time or something.
Yeah.
But we're not.
We don't care about that.
Anyway, whatever. And it was an 8-hour show that ran 3 times, so over the span of 24 hours, and released a ton of news to us. And it was quite incredible.
Yeah, it was. So,
anything to say about that?
Well, I'm Logibear, and this is the Shininator.
Welcome to the Moviecast.
Welcome to the Moviecast. We're happy you're here. So I think we just jump right into it. Thanks for that amazing introduction.
Thank you.
Just before we get right into like the nitty gritty, I just have to say the production value and the overall like show, really good.
It was impressive.
Very well done, very well produced, good editing on like the videos and the shots and the transitions and everything. The green screen stuff was a little dumb, but it was cool. So
it was noticeable, but it wasn't all.
Yeah, it was cool nonetheless. So 10 out of 10 for production and showmanship and everything. Like
especially given the fact that Comic-Con was like a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was just someone recorded their screen on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And it didn't look that great.
They put months of effort into this. Yeah. For sure. They mailed backdrops to their people. So it was super well done. Shout outs to DC and their production team. Just gotta say that right off the top.
And if you're wondering how prepared we are for this, I have a nice wad of sticky notes here.
Yeah.
That are notes I took during the event yesterday. So
I took a lot of mental notes, but sadly I couldn't watch all of it. I had to catch the highlights.
You had to go to work.
Yeah.
Which we'll accept. Yeah. Because this isn't our full-time job yet.
Yet. Anyway, let's get into it.
We're not really going to go in order of how the event went, but I'll try to talk about the panels themselves as we discuss them. First up, we'll be discussing the panel titled Multiverse 101, in which they discussed how DC, as its own universe, exists in a multiverse. So the comics exist over here, the movies exist over here, the TV shows exist over here, but they all are DC and they all, they're all valid contributions.
It's the ultimate scapegoat for just like literally any possibility.
Now in this panel, we got a little bit of, confirmations or tiny nods. Nothing, as monumental or as direct as the panels from the other movies, which we will get to. But in this panel, which happened about 30% of the way through the event, we were confirmed that the Flash movie would indeed involve and revolve around the multiverse, which would explain why Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton will both be in the movie as Batman, which is interesting.
Well, and it also explains how in the Flash show, Ezra Miller shows up as the Flash.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
They also confirmed some stuff with Matt Reeves and his Batman. They did confirm that it was year 2 of Batman's career, which had been heavily rumored and discussed, but I think this might have been one of the first times that it was openly confirmed officially.
It's canon.
They also announced that Matt Reeves would also be making he'd be making more movies with this Batman and in this area of the DC universe. But he's also confirmed to do an HBO Max show, which we'll discuss in a few minutes. And with DC transferring to HBO Max a lot of their content, and famously, the Snyder Cut will be releasing on HBO Max. They have talked about how this is going to be another meeting place for TV and movies to interact and blend with each other. So on the CW, they had Ezra Miller show up as the Flash, but we could see a lot more things like this happening because of HBO Max with everything being brought together.
We could see Grant Gustin show up as the Flash in a Justice League movie. You know, that'd be really cool. I think, and also I think for a lot of the fans, I think DC did a really good job here of just like kind of like finally just like committing and saying it's a multiverse, it's here, we admit it, like because I think people had always just assumed that's what it was, but they did a really good job of like, I'm gonna use the word proving it, but that's not the right language, but they did a really good job at establishing it and saying like, yep, it's a multiverse, you don't gotta worry, not everything has to be connected, and you kind of just gotta deal with that. Like Christopher Nolan's thing is over here, Batman, and Matt Reeves' Batman is over here, and Batfleck's over there. But if we wanted to someday, sure, we could all make them come together. Probably won't, but that's how it goes.
And I think it provided a lot more clarity towards like the movies more so than the TV shows, because they've been talking about multiverse and different Earths a lot, especially in the Arrowverse of shows.
Yeah,
like Supergirl existed on a different Earth for
a while. And yes, Scott, Michael Keaton is confirmed coming back as Batman.
He's very old.
Yeah,
but he's coming back.
He's not coming back as a young Batman. He's coming back as an old, like retired Batman.
Speaking of Batman, let's move on.
We're gonna get right into
what was actually the final panel of the entire show,
but
we're gonna talk about it second.
Clickbait.
Yep. Matt Reeves, the Batman, coming out 2021.
Yep.
Supposedly October 1st. That might change. We'll see what.
October-ish. It'll probably be around Halloween. Yeah, if I had to guess, just like.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. That's what it's planned for right now.
It's what it's slated for.
Now. Logan wasn't there for the panel, so I will go through the stuff that they discussed.
I did. I actually did watch the panel later.
Oh, how about that?
I did. I did my homework.
All right. Things that were mentioned about this movie and about this Batman. This movie will be character-driven, which is, I mean, not uncharacteristic of a Batman movie, but they're really going to dive into the personality of this Batman.
Yeah. It'll be less punch-em-up action.
Well. We'll get to that. The second point that they mentioned that I thought was worth writing down is they're going to have his morality question. So Batman famously does not kill, even though every version of Batman we've seen in the movies kills him.
Wow. Yeah.
In this version, they talk about how in his year one, which we're not going to see in the movie, he's done this no killing thing, and he's hoping to change the city of Gotham for the better. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. It stays all the same. So he will start killing in this movie because he thinks that might be a way, to make a change and make things happen. And that's an interesting point to bring up.
Yeah, he's got to establish himself. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the next one. They also hinted that Thomas and Martha Wayne may have been corrupt before they were murdered. But Bruce might not know that, and that might be something that he comes to learn through this movie.
Yeah.
And that could also lead to, this identity crisis that he has to go through, which would be, again, something really cool to see.
They've done that in a lot of other Batman media, so I'm excited to see that on the movie.
We're getting a new version of the Riddler, which we have never seen before, which they implied was, never seen on TV or in movies. So that's interesting. And in the trailer, it definitely... the look itself is...
We'll do a trailer breakdown, for sure, at the end of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, this is something we've never seen before, and Catwoman will be different than what we've seen, but there will be hints of Catwoman that we have seen in the past. We'll see, the way she does that is kind of like the way that Michelle Pfeiffer did that in Batman Returns.
Well, and it makes sense. And it makes sense that we've never seen this Catwoman before, because we've never seen a year 2 Catwoman, essentially.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
And actually, they said that her name was going to be Selena, and she doesn't identify as Catwoman yet.
Oh, she's still Selena.
The Penguin will be in this movie, but he hates being called the Penguin and definitely doesn't own the title yet.
Yeah.
Falcone will be in this movie, and the way they're talking about it in the panel, they made it sound like he was the main villain, but then the trailer came out, and it's definitely the Riddler. But I think Falcone,
is
played by John Turturro, who's the Sector 7 guy.
Oh yeah, I know who John Turturro is. I know that one.
He's gonna play Don Falcone, and I think he's gonna have a pretty significant part to play in the movie. Even if we didn't see a ton of him in the trailer.
I think the rumor that's going around is Turturro is outsourcing his work to the Riddler.
Yeah,
that's probably...
which is valid.
Yeah.
Now they did also mention something else. I talked about how Matt Reeves was in charge of directing a TV show for HBO Max.
Yep.
Is what we call Gotham PD, which is actually going to follow the first year of Batman's career from the perspective of Gotham's police.
Yes.
Which is, a very cool way to take, take this angle.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a nice different perspective, which he made sure to capitalize on.
Yes. When I watched the panel, he talked about that a lot.
He's going to feature a bat suit in this movie. It's worn, it's taken some beatings and it's seen some action, but it's also not his final Batman suit. There is room that he's going to, upgrade this over the years, and this is not the only bat suit he's ever going to wear, but he has also been using this specific suit for some time.
That's
nice. And they want to make Gotham look different than it has previously. Gotham itself is like an extra character in most of the Batman movies, and they make a point to tell you what Gotham looks like and what it feels like. And they're going to do that again in this movie. Onto the trailer.
This is where all of my knowledge comes in, because I gotta be honest, I've watched the trailer 15 times.
Yeah, it's a good trailer.
So, yeah.
It doesn't give too much information away. It shows us what we wanted to see, and
it establishes...
It builds some hype.
It establishes the villain, it establishes the conflict, and then it gives you some eye candy to look at. Yeah. And that's what a trailer should do. It hooks you instantly. Because the duct tape. And the trailer opens and you just hear this duct tape noise. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And also a red and black DC and Warner Brothers logo. Already pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gave me some cool Batman Beyond vibes. But that's whatever. Anyway, it opens up and you just see the Riddler, or whatever they're going to call this Riddler. If you've seen Batman Hush, it's a very Hush type of person.
Yeah.
So Hush, wears this mask, and he isn't wearing a spotted green suit with a top hat that has a purple question mark on it.
Wait, and I think that's part of the beauty of this year 2 status of this universe, right? We're not going to see the cheesy comic book costumes.
No.
Maybe we will in a few years, but this is where do they start and how?
Yeah.
What leads to maybe these ideas and more corny looks.
And honestly, I like this look better.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it opens with you see him duct taping his body, this dead body, what we assumed he's killed. We don't know. It's just assumed that he's killed this person, and he duct tapes the head, and it says "No more lies" in blood red. And then
we see a wall of newspapers with Don Maroney on it.
Yeah.
Which is famously the opposition to Don Falcone. Anything else you want to talk about in the house?
So
first look of Batman in the suit.
You do get a full,
not dark red light.
There are two things. So a couple of things that I noticed here. And so one thing is we talked about Batman's suit briefly, and how this is probably a second iteration of a suit. If you look very closely at it, it looks like riot gear. The boots and everything, they're just standard black tactical military boots. And they give you a really cool shot of him walking in. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But you see the guns for his bat symbol, which the theory going around that is that's the gun that killed his parents, and I think that's what I'm going with. But so the bat suit looks amazing. First of all, he's got this bat leathery cape.
Yeah.
It's not flowing. It's
not pretty.
It's got some weight to it. and everything, and it looks super cool. And it's like you can tell it like when he moves because you see him walk a little bit, and you see we'll get to the fight scenes later on. He is so much faster in this suit than we've seen on screen because he doesn't have the bulletproof like the all the armor that Lucius Fox gives him and everything. We don't. He's not the like robotic Batfleck type of guy.
Yeah.
It's very mobility based and.
I think this will also be one of the smaller Batman that we've seen. Like fit.
Yeah, but
some of the older ones are a little larger around the lower areas.
Yeah, this guy's.
But he's thin and he's quick.
Yeah. So that's enough about his suit because you can watch the video and see it for yourself. A couple of things again that I noticed in the background. So there's the initial wall of newspapers in the house that we think the idea is that the Riddler put up. And then what is
I think they might have already been there, but different theories.
Different theories. Anyway, there's a wall of newspapers. Certain things are circled and whatever. With Carboni, I can't remember his name. Anyway, Maroni. And then it says what? No more lies.
It just says lies on
right.
On the
it just
wall.
Says lies on the paper. And then it cuts again, and then you see a different shot of the same house because you can tell by like the wood paneling and everything. And you see framed what looks like a diploma of some kind of like graduate certificate. You can't make out what it is, but then you see a prosecutor, like a title from a newspaper about somebody being sent to prison. And so the theory that I think is going around, at least the one that I have and I picked up from, is whoever killed Riddler, or whoever the Riddler killed was some type of lawyer / like district attorney type of person, because Reeves has said that one of the Sarsgaard?
Sure.
Yeah, Sarsgaard is going to be one of the main, like, part of, like, the main villains of the movie is the district attorney. And so, because it's all corrupt and everything, and so we think that that's related in that area somehow. It's probably his assistant or somebody working at the DA's office.
Now, my theory, different from Logan's, is that the man who was murdered was actually Don Maroni, and that's the funeral that we see in a few more shots.
Yeah, no. I just don't understand why he would have a newspaper clipping in his house of what looks like him going to prison. I'm pretty sure it says Maroni on it.
We'll see.
Anyway, so there's that.
And this is all very early speculation.
You have to watch the trailer and make your own observations.
Yeah.
So then it jumps again and it cuts to, is that the funeral? There's a lot.
The mayor or someone talking to the press there. And
right.
We see him with his motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, you see him there.
Also, we haven't talked about Jim Gordon yet.
I was getting to that.
Jim Gordon.
A black
played by Jeffrey Wright, who I am pumped
to
see.
So excited for that. And one thing to note just about the whole feel of this trailer, it's dark.
Noir.
It's noir. It's dark. Like,
it also gives off a nice detective vibe as well.
And I was gonna wrap up with that theme. Is Batman has been titled the world's greatest detective. That's the title he's given himself, the title that the world's given him. We've never really seen a good version of that.
Not from beginning to end.
Yeah. We've seen little bits and pieces of it, like some fanfare for it, but never an entire detective Batman movie.
Yeah.
This is going to be like that.
It could be like that.
It's going to be like that because of two things. That it's going to be strong.
Logan very
strong language. I'm making an argument, so I have to use argumentative language. It's going to be like that because I think of a couple of things. One, the song that they're using is, or not the song. Sorry, one of the voiceover is, it's assuming the Riddler talking.
We assume.
But he's talking to Jim Gordon, and he's talking about his special friend, who he's assuming is Batman.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, give him this information, blah, 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 blah. And Batman, Robert Pattinson, Bruce Wayne, is being toyed with by the Riddler. Yeah. He gets, 3 envelopes in the trailer alone? Of...
At least 2.
At least 2, but I think there's a third one. And so... that's leads into the detective feel of the movie and everything. But one thing that they do really well again is the color. It's dark. When you see Batman, he's always lowly lit.
Yeah.
There's and it's cool that they did this. Every time you see him without being fully Batman, he's well lit.
Mm-hmm. Well, except for the motorcycle on the scene.
Sure, but that's just. I think that's just that doesn't. He's still outside. It's still like in the world he's well lit, and so that it's a cool some contrast there. Then the next big scene in the movie, you get some jump cuts in there. The funeral.
I like that we see Bruce Wayne actually saving someone from the car.
Yeah.
One of the things I liked about Ben Affleck was that he actually saved people.
He did.
Right? And he's not just a wimp and needs the bat suit to actually do things. No, like people will save other people, especially if they're physically capable of it.
Yeah.
So don't hide away from that.
I was going to mention there's two things again in this. There's a car that smashes through the thing, has DOA written on the back.
Yeah.
Which could most likely stands for dead on arrival, because the person in the car is probably dead.
The one that gets out of the car?
No, there's probably somebody else in the car that is dead. Or it stands for something else. I don't know.
It could also be cut off. It could be a full word.
No, it's on the back of the windshield. So it's DOA.
Yeah, but it's also obscured by the end of the frame and by the pedestal. But the letters that we do see are DOA.
I'm assuming it's DOA, dead on arrival. Yeah. And this is a really cool scene because we get to just see like a good looking shot of Robert Pattinson, just like.
Yep.
Like he looks really young in the movie. Like it gives you a very almost like childlike feel, in the sense that this person is still very ignorant to the world, and ignorant to a lot of things about the world.
Maybe.
That's the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so then we'll do the next big. There's one really cool scene where Batman is in some kind of Gotham PD building.
Yeah.
Because he's surrounded by cops, and Jim Gordon's there, and he
pushes him against the bars.
He attacks Jim Gordon, in some word.
And Batman gets thrown against the bars.
Yeah.
And it's a nice conflict.
Yeah, and my theory is that's them starting their relationship. Is he probably got arrested, or he probably did something sloppy. Batman did, because he's year 1 and 2.
Yeah. And
Gordon finds him, confronts him about it, and then they make the deal, and that's the start of their relationship kind of thing. And then we'll see. Yeah, I think that's what that is, and that's really cool to see Batman interact with the police like that, because we haven't seen that in a lot of movies.
Yeah. Well, with the police.
Yes.
As in more than Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the next big scene is.
There's some few shots of Penguin in there.
Yeah.
Which Colin Farrell has a big head.
He's got a big head.
It's definitely prosthetics, but man, he does not look
like it. Whatever, we're good. He fills it out too. Like he's got some cheeks on him there.
Let's talk about the fact that Batman straight up murders someone.
I was about to get.
This trailer.
About to get to that. It's a gruesome trailer in one spot. This gang of...
You hear, like, bones break on his face. Yeah. It's something else.
So, Batman's just walking in Gotham. A gang of assuming Riddler people. They got, like, kind of fake clown makeup on. Which is very Riddler thing. It's not full Joker.
Yeah.
Some goons, yeah. That was the word I was thinking of. And he's like, what are you doing here? Batman just doesn't say anything. And just, it's a one shot. And just beats him to death.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I like the question is, who are you? Right.
Right.
And that's definitely something that's been asked in a lot of or
usually,
what are you?
It's usually by the latter too. It's usually somebody asking, or it's usually sometimes it's Bruce asking who they are.
Well, no, because what I'm saying is, the villain will ask Batman, "What are you?" or "Who are you?" And all the time it's, "I'm Batman."
Yeah.
Right, and that's the classic moment, but then the twist a little bit.
Yeah.
It says, "I'm vengeance."
Ooh. And like
we're getting something a little different.
And then the next cut is one of the best things I've seen out of all of the cuts and everything in this trailer. That cut from this next one, it just jump cuts to the Batmobile starting, and you get this incredible ferocious roar of his engine starting, and the Batmobile straight up has a jet engine sticking out the back of like a. It's
I like that it also looks like a car.
Yeah, I was about. It gives me like a kind of a older, it's more of a muscle car kind of vibe. Anyway, it jump cuts to that, and it's just this ferocious sounding thing. It really makes the scene feel like there's some ferocity there, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then there's some couple of jump cuts in there. The police are like chasing him. We're assuming they're like, "Who is this guy?" And he like smashes through some stuff. He's straight up, and it's only like 3 frames. He straight up gets shot. Like Batman gets shot like this close, and it hits the gun in his thing, and probably saves his life, I assume.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's this amazing scene.
One more thing I want to talk about. We can see the Batcave in this trailer.
It's a warehouse.
And it's not filled out. It's a couple computers, a couple tables, and a lot of open space.
Yeah, he's got the Batmobile up on a stand in the back, and that's it. And they cut the trailer in a specific way to make you think that the Batmobile is by a cemetery, because you see him do the long shot around the cemetery, which we saw the behind the scenes footage of.
Yeah.
And then it jump cuts to him him arriving into the Batcave. So we don't know if that is, but
I think not. But
I don't think it is either. But they cut it to make you think
underweight
that
manner, traditionally.
Yeah, I know. They cut it like that to throw you off.
That's what I would assume.
And
overall,
just wait.
Well,
there's another scene when he goes to the Batcave. Initially, you hear Alfred talking to him, said something to him. Don't remember what off the top of my head. Cool, Andy Serkis is Alfred. Excited to see that.
Yeah.
Dope. But then you go back, and then you have the Riddler talking directly to Batman, and he says, "What do you have to do with this?" Or Batman says something, and then the Riddler's like, "Oh, you'll find out." Or, "How am I involved?" And you just see the most dark, creepy shot
at the end
of the entire trailer. Pattinson has the mask off. He's got the black eyeliner.
Yeah, well, we saw that at the beginning of the trailer too.
Yeah, but you see him without it, and he looks utterly defeated, and just it's depressing to watch. Just like the way that it's lit, the way that it's shot, and it is so cool to see this darker take on Batman, and just how he's involved, or how we think his family's involved.
Yep.
And the grief that he has to go through. It's incredible.
Yep. Overall, Batman panel, Batman trailer, good.
Solid.
Exciting, everything that we needed right now.
Solid.
Especially with it coming out in over a year. This is just what we needed. So awesome. What do you want to talk about next? Oh, I guess here we go. one of the earlier panels of Fandome, which we are still talking about. It's not just a Batman podcast, but I am talking about Batman because it has been confirmed on January 21st of next year. We'll be seeing a 4-part series somewhere. Might be on Netflix, might be on HBO Max, somewhere, or in theaters. Probably not.
I guess HBO Max.
We will be seeing a new Batman. Why? Because Batman will no longer be a Caucasian. He will be a black character, which is very interesting.
I'm excited for this.
And in small hints and ways that they were talking, one of my theories is in fact that Lucius Fox will himself become the Batman in this new run.
And it's funny you say that. I completely agree with you, because I think it was in that voice acting panel. They talk about how one of the movies that's coming out or something wants to really flesh out the Lucius family.
Yeah.
And everything.
That was kind of what.
Yeah, and they talked about it in 2 different places though, so that really makes me think that that's what it's gonna be. And I love this, honestly. Connor and I don't really like to get caught up in all of the racial and everything like that. But
seeing a black Batman would be cool.
Yeah, I think this is actually a good switch. It's good. I like it. Like I'm down with the way they're doing it. It looks really. I'm excited.
Especially if it's Lucius Fox.
Yeah. Even if it's not, I'm still
Yeah.
just like open to like actually seeing a different take on Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Just I mean, it might be Bruce Wayne, and he's just black, but I'd like it to be a not Bruce Wayne character too.
Yeah, I would love it to be a not Bruce Wayne.
It'd be a nice new take on it.
Yeah.
And also connecting to Batman, let's talk about the Flash movie. We had some snippets shown to us. You know. So
Yeah, we did see. They mostly
some
showed
concept art.
Yeah,
and
most
some small pieces of information.
Yeah. This was the funniest panel, I think.
Yeah. Well, Ezra Miller is just a funny guy.
First,
that lends itself to that too.
He looks straight up homeless. He's not, but he looks straight up homeless.
Right now, in the real world, not as the Flash.
Yeah.
What were we told about this movie? This movie's going to be funny. It's going to be scary. Ooh. It's also going to be emotional. Tears may be shed in this movie. Which, let's go to the next point. They confirmed it's a Flashpoint movie.
Yeah, it's Flashpoint.
With time travel. So, that definitely calls for animation, or for emotion, sorry. Because it's him dealing with the death of his mom, and he's going to go and save her, and then he's going to have to let her die again. That's an emotional decision that you have to make. That's something else. We get to see a different version of the Speed Force. We have seen the Speed Force many times on the Flash TV show. Haven't really seen it in movies. Live action movies, I should say.
I'm excited for this. I really hope that they do something new with the Speed Force. Well, I know they are, but I really hope they give it some characteristics.
Yeah.
Like, they actually, like, personify the Speed Force more. I think that would be really good. Yeah.
So, there's a chance that the movie universes will collide with the TV universes in this movie. So we may see Grant Gustin reappear. And
I would wager yes. I wouldn't even wager it's a maybe. I would wager that it's something.
And when I say movie universes will collide too, this is how at least we're led to assume that Michael Keaton will himself appear as Batman.
We're not even led to assume. They confirmed it. They confirmed
They never said Michael Keaton in the movie, in the whole fandom though. But they did say that different movie universes would be accessed.
But then there was the art that came out.
Yeah.
The concept art that had Batman giving
who builds Flash a new suit, which looks good.
It's very organic. That's the word they used.
Yeah.
It's less like armor metallic looking.
And finally, and this might also change in the Snyder cut of Justice League, but Flash will finally have yellow lightning.
Yeah.
As he traditionally does. So that is something else that I am quite excited to see.
None of this blue garbage.
Yeah.
That's Zoom.
Yeah. That's the thing. If you watch a TV show and then you watch Flash in the movies and he has blue lightning, you kind of assume that he's a bad guy or he's going to explode.
Yeah.
Right?
So.
Not a ton of information yet.
No, they didn't even give a release date or anything. Like we don't even know if this movie has even started filming.
Oh, they definitely haven't started filming yet.
Okay. So, high hopes for Flash.
Yes.
Do we talk about any? Well, Connor and I haven't even seen Flash season 6 yet, so I doubt we're going to talk about Flash season 7. It's coming.
Do you want me? I'll tell you this: we might be seeing, and it's just not a comment because we're the movie cast, not a TV cast. But Flash's gold boots might be appearing in this season of the Flash.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
It fits enough.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. Let's do Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we'll do Wonder Woman.
That was the first panel of the event.
They opened with it.
Yep. They talked about Wonder Woman a lot, actually. But
it was a very reoccurring thing.
Yeah, Wonder Woman actually turns 80 years old next year. It's like the 80th anniversary of.
Shout outs to Linda Carter. She made a couple guest appearances.
Yep.
That was nice.
I actually said in here, Linda Carter appeared in the panel. She might make an appearance in the movie, maybe, who knows. But, that being said, she also has never met Kristen Wiig before this panel. So if she is in the movie, they definitely won't share any scenes together.
Yeah.
Because they would have met during said scenes.
Yeah, I got that.
Initially, they had some fan questions come, and they had the director and 4 characters: Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, Kristen Wiig as Barbara or Cheetah, Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, who will be one of the other villains in this movie, and Gal Gadot, who is Wonder Woman. And the director is Patty Jenkins.
Yep.
Patty Jenkins confirmed that this movie will be watched in theaters and will not be thrown to video on demand.
Nope, no VOD.
Good to know. Chris Pine, Steve Trevor, in this movie, has been confirmed as more than a love interest.
He's fully alive.
He will not be, just
remembered.
there for. He's not just there to have
flashbacks.
No, to have
sentimental.
Yeah, he's not just there for Wonder Woman to fall in love with. He's actually going to do stuff in this movie.
We actually see him do stuff in the trailer.
Yep. Just fun fact: Kristen Wiig wears wigs in this movie, so that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Also, you can tell because her hair changes quite dramatically.
We get to see some of Cheetah actually on screen.
Yeah, we'll get to the trailer in a minute, dude. We're talking about the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the panel.
Also, they confirmed that Pedro Pascal, in looking at his outfit, he said that he would wear a power suit. Now, what they were referring to was a suit that gives off, this illusion of power. So when you look at it, you're like, whoa, that guy is in charge, type thing. But I may have a small theory that I am totally ready to be wrong on, that at one point in the movie, Maxwell Lord does in fact wear a power suit, like Lex Luthor does. Probably won't happen.
Yeah. But
if it does, you heard it here first. Gal Gadot noticed a difference. They looked at some fan art, and Gal Gadot explicitly noticed that the suits that were drawn were from the first movie, and not this one. So there is definitely a different suit. I mean, other than the golden one that she wears with the wings, but the red and blue suit is noticeably different enough that she noticed that it won't be the same suit from the first movie.
Yeah, when we get to the trailer, I noticed something.
And yeah, so now what I have is trailer stuff. So
yeah, the trailer is it's a great trailer. I didn't watch this one 15 times. I've only watched it 3 times. Yeah, it's the first thing is her suit does look different in the trailer.
Here's the biggest problem with this trailer, though. I just have to say this because we weren't open when they released the first trailer. The movie is called Wonder Woman 1984, and the song that they chose to play in the background is called Blue Monday '88, which talks about 4 years in the future. Why would you choose a song? Either set it Wonder Woman 1988 and then use a song, or just use a different song that doesn't have a year in the title. It's frustrating.
I think you're the only person that cares about that.
Oh,
though.
there are other people who care.
But
it's a whole Reddit about it, probably.
Anyway, despite the song choice, we get some cool shots of Diana as a young person.
Yeah, I actually have a note here. I think that they're retconning part of the first movie.
I was gonna say that they have to because part of the first movie
shows her
going into
training. Maybe it might be more of an Olympics thing.
Yeah.
Right, and if they make it to show off how athletic you are, then I guess it's not really retconning it, but it does look like training of some sort. Even though they're pretty explicit about how that wasn't happening.
Okay, so to clarify, in the first movie, we see it time and time again at the very beginning that she's not allowed to train. She can't go to war because she's the God Killer. They need to keep her safe. That's the whole point of the movie, or at least the beginning. And she secretly trains with her aunt and whatever.
Yeah.
In this movie, we see
in the trailer.
In this trailer, we see young Wonder Woman, young Diana, just walking into a coliseum,
and
looking like
running
she's
up ramps and stuff.
Yeah.
With other Amazon warriors.
And so we don't know what it is, but it gives you another look at the Amazonian culture, which I'm super excited about because that was one of my favorite parts of the first Wonder Woman. And it looks pretty sweet, nonetheless.
Yep. I said it definitely looks like when we see more flashbacks.
Yeah.
Including this gladiator, potentially, arena.
Yeah. The Steve Trevor. So they talked about it in the panel, and they show it really well in the trailer. So Chris Pine and Gal Gadot's roles have switched. Instead of Chris Pine now having to show Wonder Woman how to live in that time, it's in that time. It's the opposite. Wonder Woman is now having to show Steve Trevor how to live in 1984.
How to wear parachute pants.
How to wear parachute pants and just all of these things. And it's really cool, and I like that they flipped that. They talked about it in that panel, and they show it really well. In the trailer, some of the action they showed in this trailer is very cool.
Yep.
They show like a highway type of chase scene.
I actually do have a note here.
Yeah.
I think that the trucks that they're fighting and the one that they flip and everything.
Oh, Lord.
There's one scene where she's pushed between them and she kicks one away. If you look at the side of the truck, the writing on it is not in English. Now, I don't want to be racist and assume that it's any specific country, so I'm going to say that I think it's from the Middle East somewhere. Yeah. So we could see a dramatic location shift in this movie from the United States to the Middle East.
Yeah, I think it's probably like Athens, like Greece.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, so you see that, and then you see, Steve Trevor on a tank of doing something.
Yeah. Sitting there.
It's very quick cuts, very action, trailer like.
The one thing that we saw in this trailer that we did not see in previous trailers was a giant satellite dish.
Yeah.
Now, I have a theory. Steve Trevor is back in this movie, hasn't aged a day. He's fully human. Logan has a theory that he did not die in the plane explosion in the previous Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah,
and then magically did not.
No,
age.
I have thought that out more. We know that Lazarus' pits are a thing. Maybe he found one.
Yes, we're going that far into lore.
I'm just saying.
Now, here's what I think happened. Maxwell Lord talks about that he can give you anything that you want. I believe that he uses the magic of a diamond or some other stone combined with this satellite to bring back Steve Trevor to get a grasp on Wonder Woman, and it's also the same technology that causes Cheetah to become more of a cheetah in this movie.
And you thought my idea was crazy. You think somehow
just that surviving like a nuclear bomb?
We don't know. He could have jumped out and fell in the water. We don't know.
He put his arm back and pulled the trigger, and you think he jumped out?
I'm just saying, it's not the craziest thing we've seen in film. And according to your own rule, you don't see a body, you don't actually see somebody die, they're probably not dead.
Right, we should have seen a rusty finger or something.
I'm just saying, that's your rule.
Yep.
So, maybe the Amazonians picked them up, and they have some, maybe they did. We don't know. There's so many things that could have happened.
That's my theory, and that's why they showed the satellite.
I think it's just, she's working.
We get to see Maxwell Lord and Cheetah team up.
Yeah, we do.
For at least a time. I do believe that Cheetah will turn on Max Lord.
Oh yeah, that's.
And we also get to see Cheetah as Cheetah, like partly animal transformed.
We don't get to see her in like a traditional Cheetah style costume though.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
She wears like subtle print throughout the trailer, but Cheetah as Cheetah doesn't look that great.
Nah.
It kind of looks like she was an extra in that Cats movie from last year.
But still looks better than the Cats movie.
Maybe. We also saw her like moving around in blurs and stuff.
She looks very human still.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? Cheetah is gonna fight Wonder Woman and probably win before she becomes Cheetah. Because we see them fight in the White House. And we were also told that there's going to be a fight in Washington, D.C., and it looks like that street is in front of the White House. I believe that that fight will lead into that scene that takes place on the street. Also, I think there might be it's either just a nice, funny Easter egg, or possibly a nod. When Steve Trevor starts flying a jet, he says, "Don't worry, they'll never see us." And then the joke is that there's actually radar, so they know where he is, no matter how good he flies.
Or it's a callback even further to the Invisible Jet.
And that's what I think. we might, maybe, probably not, see the Invisible Jet in this movie.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. That's what I got for Wonder Woman. Anything else to say?
No, I'm excited for it. That's about it. It looks pretty good. I don't. Yeah. I just want to see more Amazonians fighting.
Yep. We'll see what we get.
Hope we get there. And yes, mediocre trout. Cheetah is less than Weasel.
Yes. Let's talk about probably one of the most in-depth, longest, most intense panels of DC Fandome, which of course was Shazam 2.
I didn't even watch any of this. So.
In which we learned two things.
It's coming.
One. I guess I'll say we learned three things. Well, we knew it was coming. One. We have a title. The title of Shazam 2 will be called Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Very intense. Number two. Sinbad joined this panel, which was, he was mostly making fun of the fact that the Mandela effect has led a lot of people to think that he was in a movie called Shazam as a genie, though he wasn't. But he may make an appearance in the second movie as a joke, which would be funny, and it'd be kind of cool. Third one, and I guess this kind of goes out saying, I don't think that anyone assumed that it wouldn't be that way. They had the Shazam versions of Darla and... what's his buddy's name?
Oh,
the nerd. Adam Brody comes back as an older version, or as the Shazam version of Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah.
So the siblings will all Shazam up again in this movie. It's not just Billy Batson who will be Shazam.
Will it be every single one, or do they only show a couple?
Yeah. And there was talk that that seventh seat might be filled, which it probably. Now,
Billy's girlfriend.
Ooh. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Shazam 2?
I will ask you a question because I didn't look this up.
Yeah.
Is it the same actor for Billy, like as young Billy? And it's still obviously still Zachary Levi.
F. David Sandberg, is that his name? He's coming back to direct.
Oh, good.
So,
good. Okay, I have high hopes for this movie then.
Yep. It'll be good. At the very, very least, it'll be a fun movie to watch.
We don't even have an estimated release date.
No, they didn't say anything. We'll probably get it 2022 or 2023.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, related to Shazam, let's talk about his comic book counterpart, Black Adam, who was announced as Dwayne Johnson years ago.
2015.
Years ago. And we finally got like the first confirmation.
Concept art.
So we're very lucky. It's a good day to be alive. What did we learn? We finally got to see the logo, which is basically just block text of Black Adam with a lightning bolt coming off the A. We got the story in a very simple form. That Black Adam was a slave. And he gained the powers of Shazam, or Shazam-esque. Misused that power and got locked away for thousands of years until he finally broke free. And now he wants justice by any means possible. He may verse Superman, but probably not.
No.
Because that'll probably happen in a later movie, because they did discuss other things in this movie.
Yeah.
They called him the Ruthless Keeper of Justice. He's not pulling punches like other superheroes do. And they did imply that he is more of an anti-hero, more so than a villain, where he wants to do justice. He just wants to do it his own way, and he doesn't care what the cost is.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting take. Dwayne Johnson called himself judge, jury, and executioner, but he's also a family man. And his family is not something that you want to mess with. So his family's probably going to get messed with in the movie.
He learned something from Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Adam Smasher has been confirmed, and they had the actor who plays him come in, and they had some banter back and forth. It's pretty good.
Who's the actor?
I don't remember his name.
Okay.
And that'll be the main opposition for Black Adam in this movie. They did confirm very cool that the JSA, the Justice Society of America, will appear in this movie with the people of Hawkman, Dr. Fate,
Heck yeah.
Cyclone, and Atom Smasher. So that will be largely the force that opposes Black Adam, with the main opposition being Atom Smasher.
Is this one of the first DC movies where it's a villain as the main character?
Minus Joker?
Yeah, minus Joker.
It might be. Unless you call Green Lantern a villain-based movie.
No.
Because that movie is a villain.
It's villain and it's sure. And we don't count Suicide Squad. Well, but it's not like a singular character-driven villain story. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for this movie because I don't know anything about Black Adam. Like, I knew that he existed, and I knew that he was always the opposite of Shazam. Basically. But other than that, I had no idea. So I'm really excited. I'm kind of glad I didn't watch the panel, and I really just kind of want to go in and watch this.
Yeah.
You know, in 2025 when it comes out.
Yeah, eventually.
It's kind of like Half-Life 3. We think it's coming.
Yeah.
Little hint for you. Yeah.
I actually understood that reference.
Oh, you did get it?
I don't know if you thought that I wouldn't, but
I didn't think you'd get it, honestly.
I did get that reference.
Okay.
I know a little bit about video games.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Should
Suicide Squad?
Should we do my favorite one?
Let's do Suicide Squad.
Can I do the overview?
I'm just gonna do a quick
To
panel discussion.
Well, yeah, I was gonna do the panel.
Oh, yeah, I guess we were there for that. Sorry.
I loved that panel.
They confirmed that filming had finished in February, so they don't have to worry about filming being stopped because of the pandemic because it was already done.
It's still. They have enough to at least get a really good solid thing. They might have to do reshoots.
They'll probably do reshoots eventually,
but
they got time. It was one of the special effects artists on this movie who worked on many Marvel movies. Said that he said that there are more effects in this Suicide Squad movie than all the Marvel movies that he'd worked on combined.
Yeah,
that's a lot of effects.
And James Gunn he said that this is the biggest movie he's ever worked on.
Yep. Which, when you work on cosmic scales with Guardians of the Galaxy, that's an impressive.
This is an impressive. Yeah, this is a big. That's a big statement.
This is more of a cool thing. Not that matters too much. He used the John Ostrander books as a reference for this movie, but he also brought his own influence in as well.
He said that's what he based off most of it.
Yeah.
Was the original John Ostrander comic book line, which is cool.
Do you want me to read the new Suicide Squad members that are in this movie?
Let's see how many I can get.
It's gonna be fun.
So the new ones. Okay, so Blackguard.
Okay.
Bloodsport.
Yep.
Polka Dot Man.
Yep.
Yeah. Savant.
Yep.
Weasel.
Yep.
Mongol.
Yep. Make sure you're not reading my.
No, I'm not. I'm not reading. I know other ones. I just gotta think for. I don't know. I don't want to waste any more time.
All right. The new characters in the Suicide Squad movie: Savant, Javelin, Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2, which implies that there was a first one.
Well, yeah, this first one was a male.
Bloodsport, King Shark,
Right.
Mongol, The Thinker, Solsura, Blackguard, TDK, Weasel, and Peacemaker. That also builds off of Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag, and Amanda Waller. It's a big cast.
And it's the same for Viola Davis,
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, and
Who'd you say?
I said everybody.
Jai Courtney?
Yeah, Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see them come into this new universe and everything because Margot Robbie is a fantastic Harley Quinn.
Yep. This is a big scale movie. We get a nice tropic setting that we see in the trailer.
It's not a trailer; it's a behind the scenes.
It's a featurette.
Yeah.
But we also can see them in prison.
We do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it this one?
The trailer and how they describe the movie is as a 70s 80s war movie. That's the exact phrasing.
It's 70s.
It's a 70s war movie.
Yeah.
That's the vibe that they're going with. So like Vietnam kind of like style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shots with the army. I'm not really sure if they're fighting the army or with the army or both. We'll see.
Some very good looking set pieces.
Confirmed for 2021 release on August 6th. It's funny because that's
just under a year
away. What did you get from that featurette?
Okay, but just to be completely transparent, Connor and I were watching this in 2 separate rooms.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen the trailer or the poster or anything. I didn't know any of the new members or who was confirmed to play who. I just knew that the 4 from the first one were coming back. That's all I knew.
Allow me to fill in what happened. Many months ago, after James Gunn had been confirmed, they're probably filming at this point, they released a poster with the names of all the notable actors who are going to be in this movie. Just an entire black poster with like yellow font. Just all these names. Logan did not look at that poster.
Didn't see it at all.
So they're announcing names,
and
Logan's screaming.
I'm freaking out. I'm hitting my desk. I was like so hyped.
John Cena's in this movie. I'm like, how can you see him? You know, he's
and he did that in the panel too.
Yeah.
The one that got me the most excited was Pete Davidson.
Yep.
I love his stand up. I am super excited that he's getting like a Hollywood role.
Yep.
I think he's a great actor, and I'm super excited what he brings to the table. Also, Idris Elba, we know he plays a good villain. Have you seen The Office? Charles is the worst ever. If you've seen Hobbs and Shaw, then you've seen him play a good villain.
Yep.
It's fantastic. I was stoked.
Yep.
And I
hate to break it to you, though. Pete Davidson's probably going to die.
Oh, I know that. I know, but I'm just happy for him as a person, his career, I'm excited for my boy. Yeah, and they said, don't get too attached in the panel. People are dying. There's no way.
And I think they're going to be more meaningful deaths than the last Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Well, you have a cast of, 15 people?
At least. Well, it depends on...
You have to have people.
At least 15 villains.
Yeah. Also, John Cena was told that his character as Peacemaker to act is a douchey Captain America.
Yeah.
And I was like,
got it.
I love it. And it looks very good. And yeah.
Based on the feature, as I sat there with my finger on the space bar,
I've only watched
frame by frame.
I've only watched this one 10 times.
My initial instinct is that Harley Quinn, Polka Dot Man, and Bloodsport are going to be the main characters of the Suicide Squad. Harley Quinn, I think, is pretty much a given because she's the one in the movie that has her own movie, so and people just love her. And then there's a lot of focus on Polka Dot Man and Bloodsport, and so I've scenes of the 3 of them together. So I think they're the main 3, and they'll probably live till the end.
And Slash, Kinnaman's character, whose name I never can remember.
Rick Flag.
Yeah, Rick Flag.
Yeah.
He'll be up there too.
We get to see that the polka dots from Polka Dot Man actually have an effect.
Yeah.
They swell on his face, which looks kind of gross, but kind of cool.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn's jacket, I believe, says "Live fast, die crazy," which sounds like something she would say.
She also, for a majority of the trailer, sports, a red formal dress.
Yeah.
For, a majority of this featurette. And I was very thrown off by it. I was like, okay.
Captain Boomerang may, in fact, have magic boomerangs
I hope
in this movie, which I like. It's just a lot cooler than, I throw metal, but I'm considered dangerous enough to be a supervillain. But if you can, teleport and stuff with them, then it's worth
go for it, man.
He's a decent threat. Harley Quinn has a tattoo on her shoulder.
Yeah.
That says "Daddy's Little Monster." So,
this is before Birds of Prey.
This is after.
Is it?
Yeah. It's in the style of a 70s horror movie, but it doesn't take place in the 70s.
Yeah, I know that.
This will be chronologically after.
Will it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is the same Harley Quinn that we saw in the last one. They're not reinventing her as someone who's never been with the Joker or anything. Same tattoo, and she has a little heart under her eye as well.
Did she have the tattoo in Birds of Prey? I don't remember seeing it.
I don't know if they showed that part of her in Birds of Prey.
Okay.
She might have wore
something
higher tops.
Sure.
There's a scene with a waterfall.
Yeah.
I wrote this down, and then I kept clicking, and it might have been undone. I believe that a lot of people are going to die for sure. There's a scene of waterfall where you see the silhouettes of a lot of the characters. I was like, oh, maybe this is who's going to live. And then who I can identify from my limited knowledge and my best guess is a King Shark, Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, the Thinker, Polka Dot Man, the little girl whose name I don't know, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Savant. And I was like, oh, that's who's gonna live. But then, 4 shots later, it's the rest of the team walking in front of an American flag. So I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But at one point, that group is alive together under a waterfall.
I'm wondering if this movie will have
the Suicide Squad split in 2.
Yeah.
Maybe one of my theories.
Maybe even 3.
Because like I said earlier, it looks like they're fighting with the army and sometimes fighting against them. I think some of the Suicide Squad joins the army that they're fighting against to fight.
I don't think we're gonna see the villains fighting each other.
We'll see.
I don't think they'll do that. I just think it's way too much to have that many actors on screen.
What can we say? We don't know a ton, and that's nice. There's lots of room for them to tell us more information. In other trailers or other panels or whatever they choose to do.
Yep.
Alright, they're gonna release a ton on the internet. They'll probably release TV spots that spoil the whole movie. This is what always happens.
Always.
I'm looking forward to it. I love James Gunn's work, especially when he has to deal with your not strictly hero characters, with your Guardians of the Galaxy. And
your outcasts.
Yeah. And this is probably the closest thing that DC has to your Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, and just
where it's the criminals that gang up against the Force.
The way that James Gunn talks about this movie,
he's excited.
And I think most directors can put on that facade that they're excited for movies, but he's actually just a giant nerd and wants to make this movie, and that said, that shows through it. So I'm very, very excited for this.
Yeah,
this was the best panel overall for me.
Yeah, out of the ones that you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I enjoyed Snyder Cut more than this one.
I did watch that panel as well, but it wasn't as good of a panel.
But before we get to Snyder Cut, we're almost done. Don't worry. I'm going to do a quick little detour. Are we done with Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I don't got much else to say.
Aquaman 2. Now, they did not bring Jason Momoa in on this panel, so we couldn't get a lot of information about Aquaman himself. The panel was James Wan, the director, and Patrick Wilson, who plays King Orm, or Ocean Master, formerly, in the first movie. What do we learn about this movie in this small discussion?
It exists.
It's coming out in 2022.
Boom.
Ocean Master, or at least Orm's character, is probably returning. They said that this movie will be more relevant to the current events of the world. Now, whether that means that they're actually going to capitalize on the garbage in the ocean plot that they kind of started in the first movie, we'll see. It could also be, a racial discussion or equality. We'll find out. They also said that in the style of James Wan, they will work to discover new worlds in the ocean,
which is so cool.
The way they did that in the first Aquaman movie, the look of Atlantis, the trench, the different areas that they visited, it's cool. It looks awesome, and I am excited for what comes next. We didn't learn a ton.
Did you even get card art or anything?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll talk more about Aquaman 2
When more
when
information comes
we know
out.
more. So that's what we got there.
Yeah, that's done.
Let's wrap it up. Well, I mean, we say wrap it up like we're almost done. We'll be a few more minutes.
Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
It's coming out.
It worked, y'all. It worked. It is finally here. We get to see the trailer and all of its brilliance.
All right.
And it's amazing.
We'll talk about the trailer in a minute.
I know. I'm prepping them.
Yeah. Let's talk about the panel. He showed a piece of art, like a still frame from the movie.
Yeah.
There are samurais in this movie.
Yes.
Next to an Amazon. Now, my leading theory, and this was, enhanced by the trailer, I think that we're going to see a lot more of this war that took place in the past against Darkseid. I think there's going to be samurais in that. That's pretty cool. I like samurais.
It makes sense because it would have been part of the human people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was pretty safe. That was pretty early on. We saw a samurai. I was like, I gotta write that down.
Yep.
So, Cyborg is the heart of the movie.
Quote.
That's what he said.
Literally word for word.
Which is not at all what we got in the Justice cut.
Yeah.
As Jeremy John says. He mentioned the Knights of the Round Table a lot.
Yeah, he did.
I think we're going to see a scene where at least the 6 of them will sit down around a round table. They talked about it in the.
We'll get a Hall of Justice shot before it's demolished.
Oops. We get to see more Flash in this movie, and he's going to have emotions.
He's not a bumbling idiot.
That's good to know.
Like he doesn't trip.
We're going to see in this movie a Flash ability
we've never seen
that
before.
Involves time that we've never seen before.
Didn't he say quantum ability that we've never seen before?
He mentioned quantum as well.
Yeah.
So it revolves around time.
Yeah.
Just the Snyder Cut will be released on HBO Max. How will it be released? In 4
parts,
1-hour chunks. And then after that is done, they will kind of re-release it.
They'll look at theatrical releases.
Well, they'll release it on HBO Max as 4 hours together. You can watch it all in one thing without having to click next episode.
Yeah.
Now, because HBO Max is a USA exclusive, they are also looking at distribution to other countries.
Yep.
However that looks.
Let's be real. I mean, we're gonna pay for it somehow.
We'll see.
I will.
We'll watch it somehow.
If I have to set up a VPN, I will.
Yeah.
Don't tell Zach.
Or don't tell whoever owns HBO Max.
Warner Brothers.
Let's go in the trailer. I have 3 full sticky notes.
Connor proposed this to me last night. That he was like, Logan, don't watch the Snyder Cut trailer a ton, so that you can have a way less dig-dived opinion on it. So I've only watched it twice. But
I definitely thought you would have watched it.
No, I watched it technically 3 times, but one of them was kind of funny reacting to the trailer, so I was watching more the reactions than the trailer.
Yeah.
So, but can I quickly do some observations before we get really into the deep dive? A couple things. We see the Hall of Justice destroyed, like it's crumbled over, and in there you can see a little Joker card. That probably doesn't mean anything. It's probably just a neat little Easter egg, but it's there. That was a cool thing that I noticed. We see Flash running with material being built underneath him. So that's probably the Speed Force type of action, I bet, is because it looks kind of like the Quantum Realm from in the background from Marvel. So that's kind of that. So we're really excited for that. And we see Superman in a black suit, which is cool. And there's one shot in the movie where we see Superman like getting zapped by lightning, and it's kind of like all orange and everything like that. And I think my theory on that is that that's Superman being brought back to life, just very similar to the Wheaton cut. I'm thinking maybe not exactly the same, but I'm thinking it's something like that.
Yeah.
And that's basically all observations I had.
Yeah. All right. Start off, we see this Hall of Justice. It says Justice League on it, in amidst rubble, with the Darkseid logo behind it. We have not heard them called the Justice League.
Nothing.
Nothing of the sort. And now we have a building with it. So I am led to believe that part of this movie takes place in the future.
Yep.
In which a Justice League exists. Ooh. I came up with the theory
I did too.
Anyway, we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Because I thought it would too.
Flash saves Iris
from
a car accident without a suit on.
Yeah, he saves it as just Barry Allen.
That's ballsy. And she probably knows now. So that's at least an awkward thing you don't have to deal with later.
Well, we didn't even hear mention of Iris in the other...
Yep.
The one we don't speak of.
We see Cyborg digging a grave. Whose grave is it?
We don't
really know.
I don't think he's digging a grave for somebody. I think somebody's buried it.
He's digging by a gravestone.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's grave robbing.
It might be Superman. That's kind of the one I'm leading with.
I think it's his dad, but...
I don't think they gave his dad a burial. He kind of turned to dust.
But does it mean there couldn't be a jar of ashes down there?
Arthur appears to have a quarrel with Atlantis. He drops a trident at the his feet, and he kind of just backs off like, "What up?" And Hera's all like, "Oh, I'm so sad."
So I'm wondering if there's going to be some retconning kind of thing there, and that could just be
from Aquaman.
Yeah,
I think Aquaman kind of retconned the previous Justice League and how they were talking, because like, oh, I've never been to Atlantis before, but we were led to believe that he went to Atlantis in that movie. Whatever.
Went to a small portion of Atlantis.
Yeah. We see a third villain. We have Darkseid, who we see in the trailer.
Do we?
We see Steppenwolf. And then there's a third character with two pointy chins.
Do we see Darkseid?
That's like the opening shot of the trailer.
I thought that was Steppenwolf. The opening shot of the trailer.
Oh, no. That is Darkseid. Steppenwolf's the one with the horns.
Is Darkseid not the guy with the hammer thing right at the beginning of the trailer?
So that's Darkseid.
Oh, it looks a lot like Steppenwolf to me. Anyway, cool. Sweet. Yeah, and then there's that third guy.
Yeah. So, who he is, I'll find out.
I'm thinking
it's cool.
I'm thinking he's the agent of Darkseid that comes first, sets it up, and then kind of like a Cull Obsidian, type of like vibe.
We'll see. I'm sure we'll hear more about him later. Cyborg struggles to walk in one of the scenes, and Flash is kind of behind him, like, "Oh, don't fall." Is Cyborg? Did he go through like a reboot, and he's struggling to function now?
Yeah.
Did he just exert a ton of energy? What happened? You don't really know. Silas, that's Cyborg's dad, dies, sort of turns to dust, like Dr. Manhattan style in The Watchmen.
Yep.
I believe he dies to protect, or he dies to destroy the mother box, because in the same scene, behind Cyborg, I noticed a figure. Blurred, blinded by light.
It looks like a mech suit.
Yeah. What it is, I don't know. But I think, I believe that is why Silas dies in this trailer. Steppenwolf, we can see him again. He actually looks more threatening than he does in the last one. He's not a gray blob. He actually has like knives coming out of him.
He's got like cool gray like armor and everything. Yeah, it looks really good.
It's shiny. Yeah. We see. Batman has invincible wrists. We see him like blocking like laser attacks with his gauntlet. It does like, that's pretty impressive. I knew he was bulletproof. I didn't know that he could, withstand blasts like that. That's kind of cool.
Also, there's literally the exact same shot in both Justice League and this trailer.
Might be.
It's the one with Batman in the circular like thing with all the demons, and you see him like shooting. That's like shot for shot, which is cool. I'm glad.
We see Flash in an explosion of some sort, and I think it might be the Speed Force, but also it might not be. Cyborg pushes nukes aside with his hand.
He's straight up just.
I don't know if he's like in a vision, or if he actually bombs somewhere, or what. That's a very cool scene to put in your
I
trailer.
really hope the whole fight scene's going on and he's just sitting there, just chilling in like some computer and waiting for a drone strike. And he just swipes nukes onto like Darkseid's army. That would be dope.
We get to see more footage of this old war that was talked
Yeah.
about in the last one.
Yeah.
It is either of that old war, or there will be a new war similar to the previous one that we will also see in this movie.
We see Amazonians too.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Looking like
Now, what you also talked about, we see Flash running, and as he runs, he creates the ground to run on, which is confusing. What does
I'm
that mean?
not sure if it
Is
looks...
he running back in time, and as he runs, the past materializes underneath him? Is it the Speed Force, like you said? I don't know, but it's an interesting shot.
Maybe Batman's doing it somehow. Maybe Batman's got a material.
We see a shot of the 6 of them on top of that nuclear plant in Russia.
Yeah.
And a plane backs up to let them in. Who's flying the plane?
I think it's Alfred.
It could also just be entirely motorized, like robotically flown. But maybe it is Martian Manhunter flying the plane. Why is he flying a plane? Because he can fly? I don't know. But
why does Iron Man fly in a Quinjet? Camaraderie.
Also, the final scene of this trailer shows Barry and Bruce talking, and we see in this trailer that Barry Allen has common sense in this movie, and that is exciting because he's not an idiot.
I am just so excited for a smart Barry Allen.
I'll say this: if there's one word that this trailer brought to mind, it's better. Everything looks better than the last Justice League. Everything.
Like, this is
even the same villain that they're bringing back. He looks better
from a CG and animation perspective. Mind you, it's only a trailer. It already looks better than a fully polished movie.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
That says something about the art direction changing.
Yeah.
So that's.
And I mean, generally, I'm excited to see Zack Snyder's original vision, but I'm just also excited to see what happens.
I just thought of another thing.
Now, the theory that I came up with is probably the same as yours. Flash running through the Speed Force might be him running into the future instead of the past, in which he sees the broken Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebel and Darkseid. And then he finds like Batman or someone who sends him back to fix what happened.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Also, it just dawned on me, since this is 4 hours of content, maybe we're getting a part 1 and a part 2. Like maybe it's like how Snyder always wanted it, a Justice League 1 and then a continuation Justice League 2.
Are you saying that there's a separate 4 hours coming?
No.
This
4 hours is two movies.
Okay. Maybe.
Like, I think, because there's no way he intended for the original film to be 4 hours long. So they're adding scenes to this for sure.
A little bit. His original cut was quite long, and he got some flack for it.
Yeah, probably like 3 hours long, not 4 hours. Like, a whole hour makes a huge difference. So I don't know. That's just a theory. I think like maybe
they also definitely just wanted to win on Endgame and add an extra hour.
Maybe. It's a hard deal. Also, there's a lot of little hints and jabs throughout this trailer that I think are completely intentional at the original Justice League.
Yeah.
And
Warner was like, he's never fought us. Not us united. It's like, well, yeah, because you were barely united in the last one.
Yeah.
So.
They use the song Hallelujah as the trailer song, which is really great, and it fits really well.
And it means a ton of things. I mean, some of them maybe not, but, Hallelujah, it's finally coming. Hallelujah, it's better.
Yeah. Yeah. It also could just be like a very contextual thing of like, hey, the Justice League are the saviors. Like, there's a lot of things that could happen there, and pardon me, it looks amazing.
It looks much better.
Yep. And
that's our notes from DC Fandome.
Obviously, you notice we didn't talk about every single thing because A, it's 8 hours long, and B, some of the stuff Connor and I just like they're not movies. B, we're not passionate about, and C, it's not really our place to talk about.
Yeah, they talk about some racial things or some things in the United States or around
Yeah.
the world.
Like
We're the movie cast. You know, we're here to talk about the movie news that was shared.
Yeah.
And did we get into a few other things? Yeah, but we try not to make that our focus.
And like, if you're a gamer, they showed 2 amazing games that are coming out, and I'm super excited. Connor and I will probably stream those when those come out, and I will have to carry you through that.
Oh yeah, I suck.
Yeah. But
this has been the Moviecast.
Yeah.
Thank you for sticking around if you're still listening. Yeah. Next week, Tenet. Finally, it's coming. Now, what does that episode look like? We have no idea right now. We know that we will discuss the movie Tenet. We might discuss other movies. We might do different things. We don't really know. But come back next week to see what we say about it.
Make sure you like and comment on this video for YouTube. Share it around. Get the movie cast out there. The more people that watch it, the better it is. And also, feel free to, like, I share this on Twitter all the time and everything, or even just whisper me on Twitch. Ask, would you like to see a spoiler-free review of Tenet, or would you like to see like a hybrid, some spoilers, some not, or would a complete spoiler review of Tenet? Let us know, because we want to, we're happy to do it.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah. So let us know about that, and just let us know any other theories you guys have on these trailers and everything. I'm going to link all of the trailers in the YouTube description, so you guys can click up and watch them. I just added a whole lot of work for myself, but it's okay.
You're just going to edit this part out now.
No, I'm gonna keep it in. I'll put the links in the description. And this has been the Movie Cast. Thank you all for watching. We will see you later.
Goodbye.